The Football Show.
Hello everybody and welcome to Tot&HAM, the weekly show where we talk about Tottenham and West Ham from Planet FPL. My name's Suj.
My name is James.
I support West Ham. You?
Tottenham, all day, every day.
Tottenham. Interesting show this week because no one's played any games.
No, so we're going to give you tactical insight into Storms.
Yeah, true. One of us should have played a game yesterday. We are recording one day early. One of us should have played a game yesterday, but you know what? In the north, they couldn't handle the weather, could they? They always talk about us southerners being soft, shandy drinking fairies. Well, what was it? Bit of rain, bit of wind.
I think, did you see the state of Euston yesterday?
I did not.
Wow. I mean, no West Ham fans were getting there.
Really?
I think that's the number one reason why it got called off. Mind you, I don't know how Sheffield United and Bournemouth survives.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when the pitch and everything, the game looked fine. It didn't look like it was particularly affected by the conditions too much.
I think, and it's just a personal, having been to the Etihad a couple of times, obviously quite recently in April, I wonder if, although it's an aesthetically quite a pleasing stadium once you're inside the bowl to look at, etc., the staircases are a bit, how can I put it, kind of in elements and clunky. Like when you're going in the ground, you're a bit like, oh, this doesn't feel like a modern purpose-built stadium.
It's not a modern purpose-built stadium, is it? It was the Commonwealth Games,
built for
wasn't
the
it?
Commonwealth, and then obviously Man City got hold of it. I wonder if it had anything, slim things like that, you know, which people won't take into consideration. Like, because the wind will come through there, and those staircases, there's not, if the wind picks up in there, mate, you're going over.
True. You were saying before we started recording, we can talk about my relief. I don't know if I am relieved, mate. If there was a day to play City, it's the day where the wind's blowing left, right, centre, every which way. And
what, you think they're going to be lumping the thing in the air? It doesn't matter.
I think you could just cause chaos in that kind of conditions. Like a nice, sunny, clear day, they're going to be passing around.
Defending those De Bruyne crosses would have been so easy, mate.
It would have been just chaos. But I'd rather a chaotic game than a decent game of football if we're going to Etihad, if I'm honest with you.
I think if I'd have been a West Ham fan, I'd have rather just got the game out of the way.
Yeah, 100%. It was annoying. When I saw a few rumours at like 9:30 in the morning, I was like, they're not going to cancel this. Forget about it. Because of the money involved, TV, all the rest of it. I just didn't think it would get cancelled, but obviously we're not up there, right? So we don't really know how bad it was.
No, the only thing I commented on in the morning was, and it seemed like rumours were picking up that both of the Sunday games could get called off. So I remember going to Newcastle on a weeknight in 2014, and God, it was windy. And every other game in the Northwest, obviously Newcastle's Northeast, all the games in the Northwest went. So I think as well, Northwest is obviously that coast side where it's coming in.
Yeah, it was coming through.
There's loads of factors. So, yeah.
It is what it is. We just move on. So we're going to do a bit of Q&A today.
Something different.
We've got no other talking points, really.
I sent a tweet out. I thought we'd get a couple of responses. There was about 38 of them.
Yeah.
So we've picked out some of our faves. And we'll talk a bit of Tot&HAM.
Yeah. Bit of advice. See, some of the questions were good questions, but they were too long. Like, this is not like an hour and a half show.
I think things like...
what's my 5-year plan for the club if I become chairman? I'm like, mate, I don't know the first thing about running a football club, but...
You know about running a business.
Yeah. I borrow money.
I know what good looks like and what bad looks like. There's an argument for both our ownerships, and the way it's run is potentially badly, although I think in terms of development of club, obviously Tottenham's being run on a very stable financial footing, just the money's not being spent as such. Best 11s and things like that. I think loads of people want to hear that. At some point we will do that.
Yeah, maybe like Christmas.
Best
there's a nice summer break where there's not a lot of football. There's Euros going on, but maybe that'll be an interesting time. Maybe we do a best British 11 and the best European 11 or foreign 11 maybe, because it is the Euros and all that. It could be fun.
All right.
In the meantime...
We will never do a combined team because Suj won't get a word in.
There's plenty of players that play for both clubs, mate, so...
Yeah.
We could do it would be interesting to see an 11 of players that have played for both. Do you reckon we could...
Yeah, but I was thinking about that, and I was thinking particularly Premier League era, and I was thinking, oh my God, nearly all of them are forwards, aren't they?
Carrick, Parker.
I knew you'd do that.
There's two defenders.
Sheringham, Ferdinand, Defoe, Canute.
Okay, they're strikers. Yeah. Let's answer the questions that we got, shall we?
Okay.
Which one do you want to go with first?
Whichever one you like, darling.
Let's go with FPL_irons. I'd love to hear your favourite ever West Ham v Spurs moments. We've had some good games over the years. Now, the disadvantage I have here is I don't have this
Got less moments.
encyclopedic memory. Yeah, right. I don't remember games in the way you do. If you asked me to tell you the score from 2 seasons ago, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I just don't remember games. Like I couldn't care less. I'll remember the odd moments maybe, but not really games necessarily. And I don't want to recycle moments that I've got for like Sham from FPL 2 Guys 1 Cups asking for your best match, best goal, whatever. I was curious as to whether or not he was talking about it in the context of West Ham Spurs or just in general. But there have been a few. What's your biggest,
keep it West Ham Spurs.
memory?
I think it's probably the one most would remember, isn't it? The 4-3.
That was a good game.
It was a great game.
It was a good game. Yeah.
A great game that you should have won, actually. Yeah. It was in 2006.
I don't know if, what would you call it, an entertaining game rather than maybe a purist's great game?
From a purist great game, no, probably not in terms of the amount of chances there were, the drama of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was right up there, that one. So West Ham were very much fighting against relegation. This was actually Tevez's first league goal. Game was in March.
Yes. Yeah.
He went on an incredible run, so obviously helped keep you up.
That goal is the goal that free kick is my favourite ever West Ham Spurs goal. Probably because of the reaction. Like if you want to make yourself a cult hero in a stadium, jumping into the crowd in the way he did and just getting absolutely mobbed, you could tell at that point this guy's hot shirt on the sleeve kind of guy.
And that was the second. Mark Noble got a great goal to make it 1-0 on the day. And then we came out in the second half and started playing some football.
Yep.
We were 2-2 within about 15 minutes. Defoe penalty. Timutanio got a great goal after build-up from Berbatov and Aaron Lennon. And then with 5 minutes to go, Bobby Zamora put you back in front. You should win from now.
Well, we should have won a lot of games from there.
Berbatov free kick, minute 90. And then the famous Paul Stalteri winner. Defoe wouldn't pass the thing. Yeah. Good job, Robert Green spilled it. And Stalteri tapped it in.
You meant Robert Green. He was an enigma in himself. He was a great goalkeeper that used to do
till he put on an England shirt.
He did some really daft things in his career. He's got some real howlers. Yet there's some games where he was.
It was probably one of your better goalkeepers of the last 30 years.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, on his day, he's probably our best goalkeeper. Maybe
better than Flappy.
Probably not better than Flappy now, but yeah. I mean, Robert Green was on his day a very good goalkeeper.
Actually, peak Robert Green around about sort of 09ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, it probably was. He was one of your better players then, mate.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, obviously, how many players do we have in the England squad then? Bugger all, really.
Just Robert Green.
Yeah, exactly. So that says something, right? That says something a lot. But then, yeah, he used to make the odd ridiculous mistakes. But he was high. I think, didn't he have like 2 university degrees or something in psychology, Robert Green? He was super intelligent.
If you say so. I mean, I'd have thought a goalkeeper would have a degree in angles or mathematics or something.
Nah, I'm sure he was. He had a degree in psychology or something. He was going to go and be a psychologist. Okay. There you go.
You got any favourite memories?
No. I suppose Antonio's goal last season. It's nice to be to go to your place and win. So away victories are always nicer than home victories. Do you remember? In my opinion,
because I can think of the worst. It's easy. Was Lasagna Gate.
Lasagna Gate.
Have I pronounced that incorrectly?
Lasagna
Gate.
Oh dear.
Which was
I don't even remember now.
10 months before. It was the final game of the season, wasn't it? I remember leaving the house because it was. I think they were all maybe either 3 or 4 o'clock kickoffs.
Yeah.
And I remember going to leave the house about 3 hours before kickoff to go down the pub. Didn't have a ticket, and the game for whatever reason, like Sky put on. I remember it was like Man United and Charlton, and it was like United and Liverpool were going for second and third. It didn't even matter. And yet us and Arsenal were going for fourth. All the money was there. They put the Arsenal game on, they didn't put the Spurs game on, so I was going to a pub that it was a lot easier then to go down a booze that would have the dodgy game on, if you like. I remember just about to leave and it come up breaking news, Spurs trying to get the game postponed. I was like, what? Trying to delay the kickoff, and yeah, you could see it was a state of a team. they were shitting everywhere. It's kind of funny to look back on it now, but it was that was mortal to have like 37 games being better than Arsenal, and then we only got to win one more game, and it would have been
against
the first
West Ham
against
and
them
you
as
got
well.
the shit.
Lord knows how West Ham Spurs end up being last game of the season with
that much riding on it.
Yeah, I mean we commonly wouldn't have been in previous years. Wouldn't have been anything riding on it. But yeah, that was awful. That was I felt as sick as the players.
Who's your last game of the season this year?
We are at Palace away.
Interesting.
Yourselves?
I think we've got possibly one of the best games
Villa,
of the last
isn't it?
season. Villa at home. I can see this going to the wire.
You'd both be down by then, wouldn't you?
Maybe. We'll see. I don't think so. Not with the way that Watford threw away the victory that was in their hands at the weekend. Bournemouth losing again. I don't think it's going to be done and dusted by then by any stretch of the imagination. Let's talk about Sham's question. FPL, 2 guys, 1 cup. This is a little different. I've got answers for these kind of questions that are not West Ham Spurs specifically related.
Okay.
Maybe. But best ever match that you've been to for Spurs?
Best ever match? Like not Spurs West Ham?
Yeah, not Spurs West Ham.
Just best ever match?
Well, it depends. How take it how you will, because he's just put best ever match.
I'm going to have to say Ajax, haven't I think?
Away.
Yeah.
For the atmosphere. Yeah.
All of it. The way it ended,
Yeah.
the drama of the game.
Yeah.
It was a great football game, I think. I always say you never really know when you're in the emotion of it. But Ajax could have won that game conceivably 4-5-1 or 4-5-2. Everything just dropped our way second half, didn't it?
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah, just off the top of my head, I hadn't given that thought beyond Spurs West Ham fixtures. Would probably have to be that, I think.
I'll always remember, you'll tell me whether it was 2004-5 or 5-6, we beat Arsenal at home 1-0.
Mind you, the Man City quarter-final was a better game, probably. The second leg. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough between the two.
Yeah.
Pick one. Either one. It doesn't make
I'll
a
pick the
difference.
one that we actually won on the night, I think, the Ajax game.
Ajax game. And you were in Amsterdam, so Amstel's flowing.
That Spurs West Ham game in 2007 would be right out there, but I wasn't at the game.
No. What year did we beat Arsenal at home 1-0 with a very, very late Marlon Harewood goal? At Upton Park.
Same season.
Was that 6-7?
06, 07, yeah.
I remember I had season tickets in the 2 previous years with my brother, and then we didn't have season tickets that year. But we managed to get tickets for that game, but we were sitting separately. And it wasn't the best game of football, but beating Arsenal in the 91st, 92nd minute with a Marlon Harewood goal, I'd never seen Upton Park erupt like it did then. And I was in the back of the Bobby Moore stand in the last row. That was it. So just for the way that a stadium erupted, I was like, this is mental here. That will always, always, always stay in memory. So beating the Gooners 1-0 with that, like Marlon Harewood sits in that same box as the likes of Carlton Cole, probably for me, where no one knew what the defenders didn't know what they were going to do because they didn't even know what they were going to do. It'll bounce off left, right, centre, but yet they will do something, and they scored enough goals to kind of.
You'd give to have a Pete Carlton Cole up front now, wouldn't you?
Well, if he's going to put volleys in the top corner like he did against your lot, I would.
Carlton Cole volley against Spurs?
Yes.
Yeah, when was that?
2009.
Yeah?
Yes. Well, volley, flicked it, half volley, call it half volley if you will.
Talk to me about it.
Left foot.
I can't recall this, mate.
No. Upton Park. Not Upton Park. Yeah, Upton Park. What am I talking
I think
about?
you're just making it up, mate.
Fair play. I'll be showing you on YouTube straight after.
I look forward to that.
Best ever player.
What for? I mean, just to add on in terms of best goal as well.
Yeah.
One of my favourite ever goals isn't a Spurs West Ham fixture. It was also a late winner, Bale's goal in the 3-2.
When he broke
Park.
through and put it in.
Tom Carroll's world class best assist of all time.
And he ran the whole pitch and then whacked it.
Nah, he just took a step, didn't he, and just smashed it top corner, mate, from about 30. No,
No,
I
no
worry
memory.
about you and your memory, mate.
I don't. It's. I guess I just don't care.
I ended up underneath a jukebox when that went in.
Really.
Yeah, the jukebox fortunately wasn't on top of me, but it was close. Went mental. Favourite ever goal? Well, we kind of did that, didn't we? Maybe moment Harry Kane wise, but I think favourite ever Spurs goal. Ooh, Ginola volley against Leeds, FA Cup 5th round replay, 99. Stephen Carr against Man United, same year. Barnsley, away, Ginola's run, same year. I'm just stuck in 1999 here. Yeah, those are a few. Danny Rose against Arsenal. Gascoigne against Arsenal, 91 semi-final. You're just pulling up the video of that Bale's goal, weren't you?
Yeah.
Watching through it. You can skip forward there, mate. Oh, is that the Carlton Cole goal you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
Oh, yeah.
09, 2010. What was the score that day?
2-1 was it in the end?
Yeah, to us.
2-1.
Yeah.
2-1. I remember because
Carlton Cole put Defoe through for the equaliser.
Yeah, I remember he wrote. There was an article on the website afterwards where I think it must have been pre a Spurs game where Carlton Cole wrote something like, how big the Spurs game is for us and how nice it was for him to score. And then he ends it. He goes, "It didn't end well for me that day because I put Jermaine Defoe. I thought it was passing to Noble or something. I put Defoe through."
Literally cut your defence wide open and put Defoe through for an equaliser. Yeah.
Best player ever? Bale was something else,
Bale,
wasn't he? He was something else.
Peak,
I think for us...
Peak Bale 12-13, unbelievable.
Yeah. I think for us, based on like the highlights that I've seen more recently on YouTube and stuff, I think Payet has to be probably the most talented player that's played for us for a while. Just easy on the ball, top corner, left, assists, goals. He was class.
Di Canio,
Yeah.
young Joe Cole.
They were good. I don't know, Payet had that little bit extra about him. I reckon Payet could have gone to a top 6 club and performed and still been putting in the top corner and what have you. Whereas some of the other guys,
I
maybe
think
a bit
if it wasn't
less
for his missus, he probably would have gone to a top 6 club.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I would say so.
She wanted to go back to Marseille, didn't she?
Who's your favourite ever manager?
Poch.
Definitely.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. I would say it's between Harry Redknapp, just because you've got to love Harry Redknapp. He's just a comedy guy, and probably Bilic, one of the two. And I'd probably go with Harry Redknapp, I think. And I don't know if it's necessarily... It's got nothing to do with the football and all the rest of it. It's just that boy's got a story to tell. And
well, he wanted
a funny geezer, isn't he?
Harry's teams were always enjoyable to watch. When Harry came into Spurs, he was exactly what Spurs needed. And in fairness to him, for 3 years or so, completely exceeded everybody's expectations from when he walked in the door. But he was incredibly fortunate as well to inherit a team that was struggling, but within its squad had Modric, Bale, Ledley King. He inherited good players.
Yeah.
You look back at Redknapp's signings in hindsight, and Aaron Lennon, who was flying in that period, his signings never really added anything other than short terms. Obviously, like he brought Defoe back on that. And Woodgate had a very good short period, always had injury problems. But the nucleus of the squad was there. He just got them out there and enjoying themselves, basically. When it came to the crunch and he had to come up with... he wasn't the best tactically.
No, but he's fun.
It was definitely fun. It was a fun period, yeah. I mean, 09-10 season, watching Spurs was an absolute blast the first time we finished fourth.
The reason Bilic creeps in there is because of the season when we finished 7th, 15-16. Like, it's as high as we finished in...
Should have been higher.
In forever. So, yeah, I think you got to give Bilic credit for that season.
15-16, wasn't it?
15-16, that's what I'm saying, yeah. We finished 7th in the end. And the thing with that season is we had so many draws in that. We didn't lose a ton of games, but we had a lot of draws. But looking back on that season, that's when we beat the Gooners, Liverpool, City away in the first 3 or 4 of our first away games.
That's right.
We beat Chelsea that season. We beat you guys once that season.
Arsenal,
we beat United that season.
Arsenal, it was 2-0 at Arsenal, 3-0 at Liverpool.
Yeah.
It was the first time you won at Liverpool for 60 years or something.
Yeah.
And 2-1 at Man City, your first 3 away games. Imagine that now.
Ridiculous. We
You could do with them results in the next couple.
We beat
couldn't you?
Chelsea that season. We beat you guys once, one of the games that season. We beat United that season. In amongst that, there were a lot of draws, and it does feel like it was what could have been. I think we ended up on 62 points that year. 62 points might get you fourth place this season.
Well, it's not a joke. It might actually. Yeah, I think fourth would probably be 65ish.
Yeah, not far off. We were seventh with that, I think, which
that's where you'd expect to finish on those points.
Yeah,
sort of sixth,
normally in any given season, but that was a good season for us, obviously.
And it was the last one at Upton Park.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Exactly. 3 or 4 years after we'd come back up.
Is that your favourite season?
Yeah,
no.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but definitely from memory, definitely favourite season.
Mine would have been that same season, certainly the end of it, just because like those last few months challenging Leicester.
Yeah.
And not even though I remember going into Christmas and it was kind of like us, Leicester, Man City and Arsenal. And just not even occurring like, if we have a run here, we could actually challenge for the league. Just, it was always an acceptance for me that us and Leicester would both fall away and it would probably be between City and Arsenal.
For me,
and then we both ended up in there, and it was like, how did this happen?
I remember calling it to a couple of my Spurs mates from November, saying, "You guys are going to win the league here. You guys are going to win the league here." And all Spurs fans will do what Liverpool fans are doing now, until it's like mathematically won. They'll be like, one game at a time, all that kind of stuff. But you could tell at the time that you were playing good attacking football, and the others were not playing as well. I definitely thought Leicester were going to fall away, as did everyone.
Yeah.
But I did think Spurs. It's like, if you've ever got a chance of winning the league, this is it this season.
But then, as I said to you before in this podcast, the following season we got another, 15 or 16 points? Like our run at the end of the 16-17 season, that team was blistering. So good to watch. That 15-16 team had fight and desire and went for it. The 16-17 team really developed into a very, very good football team.
This is coming in from FPL Canada, and I won't read the Twitter handle. WGUETW.
Okay, nice one.
Yeah.
FPL Canada.
If Spurs hadn't gone to Wembley, and I suppose that means ultimately the new White Hart Lane, the new lane, or whatever you call it, and West Ham was still at Upton Park, would either or both teams be in a better place?
What do you think?
No. I think we're better off where we are.
Isn't that a wider conversation now in terms of your feelings and stuff?
I'm talking about the match day experience. Call it what you will, shopping centre and bowl and all the rest of it. It's much nicer. It's a nicer match day experience with 60,000 in that bowl. The atmosphere is not the same.
Do you think you're influenced because you take the kids?
Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't take the kids down to Upton Park the way it was. No way. No.
Not in the old chicken shed and all that, no?
No, it just wouldn't appeal. It's that extra... I live in North London, right? So it's an extra 20, 30 minutes further down. Where we used to park and walk down, it wasn't the nicest area. No problem.
Bloody hell, look, I'm in Tottenham, but that's an understatement, isn't it?
So, I think the whole match day experience is what it is. Hate Gold, Sullivan and Brady for as much as you want for whatever they do. Karen Brady was on the telly talking about when the is it Deloitte's Rich List or whoever does the Rich List came out.
Yeah.
We're in that top 20 because we're at the London Stadium and the money they can make off the back of that. Without that, we wouldn't be there. Whether or not they choose to spend that money wisely is a separate argument or not. So would we be better or worse off being in the London Stadium? We're definitely better off being in the London Stadium. Would I rather be in a purpose-built 60,000-seater stadium? Of course, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's interesting just to refer back to Deloitte. So what, you're 20th in the world, is that right?
I thought we were higher than that, 14th or something like that.
Really?
We're in well inside the top 20.
Well, I think you're 8th in England, is that right?
Probably.
Was he behind Everton or above?
We were just behind Everton,
yeah.
essentially.
So 8th. And see, the thing is, that's where you should be finishing now.
Correct.
He's 8th.
Correct.
Like we should be finishing 6th.
Mm-hmm.
That's why those who listen to sort of series 1 of Planet FPL, I kept saying every time this team pushes towards 4th, etc., it's punching above its weight. This year don't feel like that so much. I guess that's on the basis of changed expectations based on what's been seen in the last few years. Champions League final, expectations change. That's one of the biggest issues around Spurs now, is that Spurs fans have gone into a lull of expectancy that top four is the norm. Top four always came about because it was bloody earned. The one that people always say is, and Spurs fans say this a lot, is after that 16-17 season, we finished 86 points, played 23 games at White Hart Lane, won 21, drew 2. Bossed it, mate. It was every game won from a draw at home to Leicester in October. And forget, that was the Leicester team that were champions, right? The only other game we didn't win was a draw with Liverpool in August. And the argument always was, if it stayed at White Hart Lane another year, we would have won the league. I think it's fair to say if we'd stayed at White Hart Lane rather than gone to Wembley, we'd have finished second again. Man City got 100 points.
Yeah.
So what difference? We weren't going to get 100 points.
No.
So no, it wouldn't have changed anything. Maybe, I don't know, we would have started that season better, and therefore there'd have been more pressure on City. Whereas you'll remember it was the season we started this, and we were sitting in October game, it was finished. Maybe pressure wise might have been a bit different from, but City far and away
Exactly the same as this season,
won the league.
Just sky blue instead of red. In terms of the way they opened it up. Was it 15, 16 game wins on the trot they put together, didn't they?
They were won 17, drew 1, I think, at the first 18, something like that.
Ridiculous.
Then had a couple of iffy-ish results. They lost at Liverpool in January that year. There was the draw at Palace over Christmas. They could have lost if Milivojevic missed a late penalty. But yeah, the comparisons are obvious. Yeah, now this year, obviously we're in early Feb now. It would almost be a surprise if Liverpool didn't make 100 points now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I can't see them losing a game this season the way it's going at the moment. So, I mean, 86 points.
What?
Well, that season, 82 or 86, you said?
What,
points.
Spurs?
Yeah, Spurs. 16,
17, 86, yeah.
That's a hell of a total to amass and not win the league. Yeah.
Well, I always say one of the best teams I thought that didn't win the league was the Arsenal team 98-99 when United won the treble. So those battles were so hard. United won the league that year on 79 points. Yeah. Arsenal finished on 78. And it just shows the progression of points-wise what's needed now. I mean, Leicester's winning when they won it finished on 81, I think. Yeah. It's one of the lowest totals since the early noughties.
The difference now, though, is more... It's not actually around the top clubs being better, because it is the top two and then the rest, because the rest are a lot closer. The gap... I mean, it's interesting when you look at fourth down to, let's say, 10th, where Arsenal are now, and then you go down from 11th down to the relegation zone. Even if you try to divide it in two, you're talking about 4 or 5 points that easily someone could slip down and someone could jump up. So the gap is definitely a lot closer if you disregard the top couple in any given season now. From Sheffield United 5th. You think they could take 4th?
Yes.
At the time of recording, let's
clarify. I mean, they've obviously played a game more than everyone else, but yeah, they're there. Why write them off? And what they've got is, which is important at this stage, is, you know, like in terms of team morale, etc., they're on the right path, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think any of us really think that they will finish 4th, but can they? Yeah, why not? Believe it. What they're challenging against in like Chelsea, Spurs, United, and Wolves have like dropped down to 9th. Admittedly, they play Friday night. Is like the competition's beatable. Like it could be that 60 points could be get 4th. Could Sheffield United finish on 60 points? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's not beyond them.
I'm sure I saw on Twitter somebody saying 1 more point until safety. I just wanted to kick them for Sheffield United.
What, for Spurs, that's what I keep thinking about Spurs.
I was like, you are mad, mate. 30, I think they're on 39
I think we need one more win.
1 more point to safety. I'm
one
like,
more win,
come on,
yeah.
Man. Yeah, it's gotten a lot tighter over the years. You know what? You're right in when you say that West Ham should be finishing 8th in the table. But like I said on a previous show, when someone said, what would you hope for the next 5 years? Give me 10th every season for the next 5 years and a cup final, and I'll take it. Just for stability's sake.
I think if you told West Ham fans right now that they would finish 10th for the next 3 seasons after this one, they would be more than happy with that.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Premier League, by the way.
Of course. Do you think there's a concerted, organised PR campaign from our owners at the moment? Because there is the amount of ex-players and so on and so on, coming out now and saying, you know what, now's not the time to protest. I think Steve Lomas is the latest that's come out and said something. Now's the time to get behind the club. I feel like the ownership, it feels like a PR campaign that's been put together to put out in front of people and say, look, to ex-players and ex-pros, like,
I was going to say, what you're asking me for, I think you know that answer, don't you?
it does feel like they're getting paid to. I don't know if they're getting paid or not, but you know what? This is a concerted effort to let's try and stop the protests by using ex-players to say we need to get behind the team. And listen, looking at our league position, they ain't wrong, but speak your mind. I think don't parrot someone else's opinions.
No, but I mean, Steve Lomas, for example, someone played for you quite a while, so it might be that what he's saying is fairly legit. I mean, there's some Spurs guys like Mickey Hazard, Graham Roberts, who are on Twitter and that. They are very pro-positive messaging all the time, no matter what the circumstance. But then, say, particularly in Mickey Hazard's case, like he's regularly down at Spurs and that. It's not in his interest to be slating Daniel Levy if he's not spending the money or something. Right?
Nah, true. To be fair, Stevie Lomas, he's quite often in the halftime chats on the pitch and all that. He's doing quite a bit of that kind of work.
There you go.
He's on payroll.
It's not in his interest, is it?
He's on payroll, isn't he? So there we go. A brief, quick rundown, a bit of memory lane and a bit of chat about Tottenham for you this week in between this split game week. Everyone is kind of twiddling their thumbs and figuring out what to talk about.
You know what the best bit of this week is, and if you plan this right, guys, and sorry for the ladies out there if this comes across sexist, but all week, like, tell her she can have the telly.
Yeah.
Till it gets to Valentine's, and then you go, sorry, love, do you mind if I watch Wolves and that stuff?
Yeah.
Take back control Friday night, lull her in.
Do you know what would make my week this week?
If she lets you do that.
Nah. I don't know if we're going out Valentine's Day, to be honest with you. I haven't even planned it.
I'm watching Wolves and Leicester.
Jimenez to score a hat-trick, and then Mo Salah to be dropped from the squad. Because I feel like the majority of people...
Why are you upsetting people?
who have Mo Salah as on the armband will have had a City player as the vice. You've got Mo Salah armband. You got a City player vice?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
I've got Jimenez vice.
Oh, right. I see where this is going.
Yeah, baby. That'll make Valentine's Day. I'll fucking be sending roses to Jimenez.
You won't even know about it till the 15th, will you?
That's true.
You haven't thought this through.
I'll still send Raul Jimenez a Valentine's card. What do we have left this week?
We have Sky Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday, Clash of the Correspondents, Adam Hopcroft, Ricky Saunders, Villa versus Spurs. Friday,
surprise, Valentine's Day surprise.
Did we not even say it on last night's main podcast or not?
No, I think we should build up the suspense until...
All right. Friday, surprise.
Yeah, set your reminder notifications to check Planet FPL on Friday for a bit of fun.
You'll need a pen and paper.
Good hint.
And ideally, if you've got some mates, that might be handy as well.
Nice. But thank you for tuning in. Do hit like, subscribe, share the podcast with all your FPL football-loving friends, family, and enemies. Ciao for now.
Cue music, man, child. Come on, you Spurs.
The Fantasy Football Show.
Right, this is tomorrow's stuff.